Hey guys, welcome to Overcrest. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jake.
And we have a fun news episode.
These always are the most fun.
Gosh darn it, Jake. Where have you been, man?
God darn it all.
Really,
sabbatical.
What's
sabbatical.
No, but I think everybody deserves an explanation. I think everybody deserves an explanation of what is going on in your life that you disappeared for like a year.
It wasn't a year.
Yeah, you were sporadically in, but I think it was like last October.
Yeah.
Where you're like, because the rally and everything. And
the easy answer is I moved. Like that's, I think, what the impetus of just Jake level overblown stress mode was. Just like that, I moved to a property and we had a lot of projects that we knew were going to be part of it, and I just had a lot going on, and it was really, really good to be able to make a little more time for myself, but I really, really missed doing this. This was good. It's like the heart goes, you've been doing great, but you know how the heart, what is the saying? Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes, it does.
I've been very fond of the podcast. No, not you. This? No, not you. The podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. I'll just leave, and you can do the rest of this by yourself. How does that sound?
All right, let's go. No, you're right. It's the combo of us and you and doing this, and it's really cool. So
it's a great ritual. I enjoy it. I'm glad you're back here. I have missed you.
Too.
I'm sick of the messages of people asking when you'll be back.
I'm back.
Yeah, he's back. So
I feel like I should make a laundry list of everything that I have been doing that like has been way too busy. You know?
Yeah, but some of that list is like, I painted the forklift in my garage, which is not a good excuse. That's a terrible excuse not to be working. I painted the forklift that I got. By the way, so here's how this happens, guys. This is good because I can.
This is Jake.
I can give you a Jakeism. Okay, so here we are, me, Jake, Jeff. We're filming for the Overcrest Film Festival. We're about to pack everything up, and we're about to head off to a location to film the cars. We're going to film the cars, drive around a little bit. It's going to be fun. Yeah. Jake. Hey, where'd Jake go? Where's Jake? Jake is talking with Brian, the owner of the junkyard. He's gone because 76.3 minutes earlier, he had seen a electric forklift.
Yeah.
Off, like laying there, destroyed, probably tipped over, rotting, rusty, whatever. Yeah. And of course he goes, hey, how much do you want for this thing? Yeah. And Brian gave an absurdly cheap price because Brian's awesome. He owns Hans Ford Auto. Best junkyard I've ever been to. So good. It's where all the old Mercedes stuff is. Anyway, so all of a sudden we're getting ready to go. And then Jake's trying to figure out how to buy this forklift thing as we're trying. The whole camera crew's there. I'm there. Jeff's there. Skylar's. We're all ready to go.
Luckily, one of our camera crew had a truck and was like kind of coming towards me. So yeah, it was great. It worked out.
Yeah,
I see no problem with it.
Yes, you commandeered the camera guy's pickup truck to do this. This is so oh god, that's great. So when Jake says he didn't have time, you hyper-fixate, and I do too. Like I was, I sat in front of my computer for I don't know 6 hours yesterday learning how to import a 3D model so I could print a bezel. Like seriously, I sat
that you could have bought online for like. $2.
You can't. I'm replacing the whole.
I know it is cool thing. What you're doing. Any like custom made parts with 3D printing, very cool, very cool. But anyways, so you're saying I fixated on my electric forklift.
I think you fixated on your electric forklift. I think you fixated on your driveway. I think you fixated on your stairs. I think you fixated on your garage. I think you were. Here's what I think happened.
Okay, tell me.
You got this new little dude. His name's Red.
I do have a new little dude.
Cool little dude.
He's pretty
cool. Got a new place.
Yeah.
And you're basically, you know how dogs will like lay in the dirt and roll around before they lay down?
Oh, yeah.
That's basically
I've been rolling in the dirt for the last year.
Been sniffing your own butt and rolling around in the dirt, trying to get this place ready for your family.
Been great.
That's what's happened, I think. So I think it was like this, what would it be? It's not a genetic imperative, but like a species imperative to get where you live ready to raise your son. And be with the I think that might be a little bit of part of it, but also the
pole barn
disease
was pole barn.
I never should have gotten
for raising a child.
That skid steer. If I hadn't gotten you that skid steer,
my God.
I think you'd still be on the podcast
so great.
This whole time.
It's been so great. I have a project list for each of my vehicles now too, to try to just like organize my head. So like there's a list clipped onto a magnet in the skid steer now. Like I want to redo all the lights, and I want to redo the heat for the winter and get the wiper. There's a wiper on the thing. Got to fix that too. You're just reminding me of like other projects. What? But no,
you can't, Jake.
What?
You cannot do everything yourself. I would like to think you can.
We just had this conversation. Personally,
clearly
you and I did, because I'm a Jake of all trades, and I'm going to do it all.
I know, and I love that, because that's how I was raised too. That's how I was raised too. Like my grandpa did everything.
Yeah,
and always somehow did a great job with everything. And you do an above average job on almost everything. That new forklift thing looks brand new. I'm like, what the fuck does that look like? It got dragged. It was like it was on the Titanic. It was actually what unloaded and loaded cargo on the Titanic.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
And now it is in your
crank
garage.
Mechanism. Yeah, now it's remote controlled electric going up and down. It's fully painted, all new bearings in the wheels and on the sliding mechanism, and it has a charger with an onboard battery. Dude, it's great.
This is why Jake was not on the podcast. Anyway, I just wanted to reinforce everybody was hyper-fixating and rolling around in the dirt like a dog.
100% is what I was doing. Yes, so that's been going on. It's been interesting, though, because we've been obviously very busy with Overcrest in its many forms as well, with the rally and rally planning and everything we do on that side. And how often, Chris, do you dream about Overcrest?
I dreamt about GC8s last night because I watched Andrew Ritchie's film.
Ooh, yes, I
did. And then,
too.
Of course, someone this morning sends me the wagon version of that car. The one. They're pretty cool. They have like the only thing I don't like about those is they have like the little C-pillar, I guess it is.
The C-pillar is a little weird. It is weird, but I do like those. Yeah.
Someone offer me one of those because I'm looking for a car.
That's on my list, Chris. That is on my list, because you had in your notes, what should I buy for a daily? And I've been looking now for the last hour. Again, hyper-focus on the wrong thing. That's what I was doing.
Yeah. Here's me going, hey, Jake, make sure to check out the show notes so you're prepared for the show. Jake gets 3 lines into the show notes. See, I'm going to buy a car, and that's as far as he got, is my guess. So if this goes poorly, it's all his fault.
100%. No, but I wanted to ask you about dreaming of a podcast, because I think I did the same thing. I watched Andrew Ritchie's really cool video, and we're like always thinking about rally planning and where's the rally going to be next. And so here was my dream that was a nightmare. And you know how sometimes when you explain a dream, it doesn't even like in context sound scary or like why would that be fearful? But like as you experience it, it is terrifying and a nightmare. So that's what this was.
I think that's usually because it's rooted in other thoughts.
You're probably
right. I think that you have the nightmare that's on its face not scary, but it represents something else in you that is very scary.
Yes. So let me set the stage for you. It's an Overcrest rally, but we're all on snowmobiles.
I mean,
right?
That's okay. Sure.
But we're somewhere. I don't know if it's
Snowmocrest.
Snowmocrest. And we're either in like Colorado or Montana or somewhere in the mountains. And it is like the 100-year unprecedented storm. It is Armageddon blizzard conditions. And I'm pretty sure Donna died. Like people are getting lost and dying. And it's like our lights can't see through the snow, and we're in the middle of nowhere and it's freezing cold. And then like we get to some place and the guy answers the door with a shotgun and he's not welcoming to us, probably because it's Armageddon, right?
Yeah.
And so it wasn't
he doesn't
good.
He doesn't want to give us any of his charcoal canisters that he's got to filter all the snow water.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, or his provisions. But I don't think there was even a conclusion to the dream. We just like woke up in a cold sweat and a panic about Snowmocrest, the snowmobile.
Well, I think we can all surmise. We don't need to be a dream reader to understand what's going on here.
Tell me.
You are scared of all the changes that are coming next year, and it is very, very big, and it's difficult to see where we're going always. Because we're always evolving and growing and trying
hence the headlights not being able to pierce through.
That's what I'm thinking, man. That's what I'm thinking.
I like that.
People are always asking, like, how do you not ruin this thing? I always say it's like this. You have something in your hand, and it's like a little glowing orb, and you're just walking around trying not to drop it or spoil it or cover it up, make it dim. Okay. And it's just like Overcrest is that way. So when we go into this next stage of what Overcrest is going to be, we still have to carry the light. Right? The Overcrest light has to remain lit and bright. We can't spoil it or dim it or drop it or anything. And without having, I don't think we ever really have clear visibility of what we're doing. I think we're always just kind of doing
I don't think we ever know what we're doing.
Well, I think we really we really aim with our heart with this stuff, you know, and we always kind of have a lot of leaps of faith that we take.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I just want to make sure our headlights are bright enough where we can actually see where we're going.
Yeah, our snowmobile
I feel like
lights.
that's maybe my job. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that was my bad dream. Winter projects. Here's the thing, Chris, and we can get into what you're going to be working on over the winter. As we talked about, am limited by time. So I have all these projects I want to do, and I have these little lists inside every vehicle about the projects I want to do on it. So what that leads me to start doing is just like buying parts for things that just stack up. Right. And so it's like I haven't gotten to some of the parts that I bought to install on this project or this vehicle from like 6 months ago, but there they are. So I have piles of parts on things to start doing things, and none of it has gotten done yet. So
yeah, I've got the same thing going on. I've got unopened FCP boxes. I've got boxes of parts for cars I don't own anymore because I wanted to do these things.
Right.
And then
those are supposed to go with the car.
I know, but I discover them
because otherwise now you're just.
Yeah, now I just have these like Guibo joints for 190E, for example, and brake pads.
You need an electric forklift, so you can lift them onto the pallet racking in your pole barn, and it's labeled and it says,
I need the pole barn.
This car.
I need the pole barn. I need Overcrest should start making some money at some point so I can have
that would be good. Okay, so you are looking for a new daily driver because you don't have a new daily driver at your house.
I do this every year around this time, and
the Trooper was originally supposed to be the winter daily.
But it's a California truck. It's a California truck.
It's really nice. Yeah.
And now I put this stupid engine in it, so now it's really cool. And I just don't want to. I don't want to ruin
my car too cool.
I did. Okay. It's too cool. Like I don't want to drive it around in the wintertime. So I would probably on a dry day in the winter, I would probably drive it around. Not that big of a deal. But you start getting all that slop and water and salty water sprayed up into the frame of those things. There's a reason they aren't around. They're not that valuable. That's true. They're not. It's not that valuable of a truck to begin with. But I still don't want to spoil it and ruin it. So it's always the conundrum, right? It's always the problem.
Yes.
You want to drive something cool, but it can't be so cool that you can't drive it.
Yeah.
But it can't be so uncool that you don't want to drive scene in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got to be in the middle. And I tried out the 4Runner. Boring.
Oh yeah, you did.
Boring.
I don't even remember uninspiring, selling that.
Boring. Yeah, just down the road. Goodbye.
Okay.
It was the most boring vehicle I've ever owned. Got a good deal on it. Buddy hooked me up, and I made a little bit of cash, and then spiffed him a little on the side and whatever, and it was great. But I don't know. It was just I was thinking it was like an 04, and everything was just not good. I don't know. Everything was uninspiring. Yeah. Oh, but they're so reliable. But yeah, but reliability is boring. You don't even want reliability in your wife. You want things to go wrong every once in a while, just so you can have a problem to solve, and then
oh my goodness,
solve the problem in the bedroom later.
Got it. Yeah, you want to be able to have sex with your daily driver, is what I'm hearing.
Dude, that's like such a weird thing. The people that do that,
I still don't think that's a thing.
You don't? You don't think people having like? They do it with all kinds of stuff. If there's like an ism, like an orphism or something that has to do with being in love with physical objects.
That's not a thing.
It is.
Get someone on the podcast. Explain it to me.
No, I don't want to talk about it for 2 hours. No.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about what you can buy.
Oh, and then I had before that I had the what did I have before that, Jake? For the 4Runner.
You had the Golf R, which is still there. And then you had you had an FJ for a day.
I did. That doesn't count. That was the fastest flip ever. I got in it, called somebody that I thought wanted it, and as I was leaving and crossing the bridge in Hudson to come over to Minnesota, it was already sold.
Yeah,
I owned that thing for about 20 minutes if you include the phone call as the sale. And his daughter still drives it. It's cool. Again,
yeah, you had the black 190E.
The things you think would be cool.
Oh, the gold 2JZ of diesels thing, whatever that grandpa.
Oh, that's what was before that. Yeah. The 2JZ of diesels. Yeah.
Also boring.
Reliable. It was boring because it was gold with tan interior. Just not a good
kind of blasé.
Before that, I think was a 190E, which was I really liked a 190E. I think the 190E is a good looking car.
That was a good looking car. Yeah,
but it was a 2.3 automatic. Yeah, and it was really boring, very slow. But I love the way it looked. I love the way it drove. They drive great. Everything works. They feel dense.
Yeah,
feels like
there's something to say about
Mercedes.
Yeah, bank vault interior. Yeah.
Before, no cracks on the dash, none of that stuff, right?
Pretty
my Mercedes has no cracks on the dash. I don't get it. They just don't.
That is bizarre.
It's probably banned in California. I'm sure.
That material is probably terrible. That is cancer on a dashboard for sure.
Don't lick the dashboard. Before that was another boring one. Was a Golf, like a TDI Golf 2001. Got a good deal on that one.
Yep. It was a manual.
That was
at least.
It was. But dude, that's a boring car. 4-door TDI Golf.
Yeah, no, I know. If it was a 2-door, it'd be kind of cool.
It would be okay. But then again, not it's so uncool. It's almost cool, but so uncool that I didn't like to drive it. And it wasn't a new experience for me. I've had many Mark IVs. So that was out.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's cool, but not too cool, but not so uncool.
Yep.
I'm looking for $6,000 to $8,000. And I'm looking for a new experience.
Okay.
So that's
what
kind
about, as clearly I think it's leading to, what about a WRX?
There's one WRX I would own. Okay. Not even an Impreza. I would own an Impreza 2.5 RS, like Andrew Ritchie's GC8.
Those I think are getting way too expensive now.
I know. You can get them for 8 to 10. For like but I just don't know if the driving experience is good enough.
Here's the thing too, is I feel like coming from old Mercedes, you're going to be disappointed in the interior.
That's the problem with the JDM stuff for me.
I know.
It's a big problem. I know. All the knobs wiggle and they don't.
Yeah, they're economy cars, right? You're going from what was a luxury car in the market to an economy car. That's all it is.
Lexus is great. It's not just JDM, I guess. Lexus feels awesome.
No, you're right. And that's why I'm clarifying, I think, that's what it is. Okay, so then switching gears, what about like a 957 Cayenne?
I don't know.
955.
What year is that?
Porsche Cayenne. Like, remember what Glenn had? So it's either the first gen they had where they had a weird looking nose. You can get those for cheaper. Or actually, no, Glenn had a 957. So it'd be the one after.
I don't know.
Will not. They're probably all going to be in that price range. Terrible.
Let me add another caveat.
Okay.
I have to be able to work on it.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's going to be terrible.
I can't imagine.
Although,
one of those things.
If you could find one of those with the VR6 and the manual trans, that would be rad. I would drive that.
That probably wouldn't be too bad.
That's
like what, 05, 06, 07?
No, they made them up until 2014, I think, with a manual trans and a VR6.
Okay, maybe. That's awful new for me.
No, I know, but you can get them in 04. In 04.
Awfully new. I'm thinking...
You're thinking
OBD2 and older.
Okay, got it. Okay, well then, how about this? You sent me randomly a truck. Like an old Ford F250 with like
this
crazy
thing
paint.
Looks so sick. Here's what happened, guys. So I share all kinds of stuff on social media. Now, I'm not an oversharer.
No,
you'll get maybe like 2 to 4 things from me a day.
Yeah,
I'm not an oversharer.
No,
There
was a phase in there where you sent me the stupid same thing every time, and I forget what it was even, but I didn't like that.
What was that?
I don't know, and you never explained what it was. I was like, I don't get it.
I'll have to scroll back and find out what that was. Anyway, so it was a F250. Like an early 90s F250 square body, long bed with a beautiful Spectrum paint job. Nice.
It was gorgeous.
It was perfect.
Sure.
I sent it to my wife. She goes, that is a cool truck. Sure. I send it to Jake. He sends me a freaking question mark.
It's so out of your, like, it didn't make sense to me coming from you. It was so out of character.
I thought it was awesome. I thought it was awesome. It was so cool. Just
it's a big diesel idling. Correct.
Exactly
so what about a truck? Get like a 2-door short bed F250 with a manual. Yeah.
I'm not a truck guy.
I know you're not.
I decided that when I was thinking about getting a Maverick instead of the Golf R. I'm just not a truck guy. I've never owned any truck other than a Rabbit pickup. I've had SUVs. I've had like a Tahoe. I've never owned a truck. Do you realize
how handy it would be to just have a truck? I'm surprised by that.
You don't have a truck.
Yeah, I do.
So what do you?
I have an F250.
Oh, yeah, I guess you do. I guess you do have that.
It just sits behind the barn, and I only use it when I need it.
Such a piece of garbage.
It's a great truck because it's a plow truck and it tows everything I need.
How's it start in winter with that diesel?
I plug it in.
You do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a truck guy.
It doesn't start well, to answer your question.
Yeah, I'm sure. No trucks.
Okay. What about because I recently have wanted a Mark III VR6. Just a little golf.
I like those so much that if I
you
got
wouldn't
a nice
want to
one,
drive it.
that I wouldn't want to drive it. Here's the problem: is I also want some. I don't want some rusty shitbox. It's bad for morale. It's got to still be a nice car.
Okay.
I know, dude. This is really hard.
This is dumb. I found a
it's easier to find my wife than it
locally,
is to do this.
For cheap that needs work. But
what is it?
An R32 Mark IV R32. Amazing car. Love that car.
Not in the price range though.
It's like it was $9,500 because it needs work.
What does it need? Chains?
No, it's like ancillaries. Like it needed a power steering pump or something.
I already have one of those, essentially. I got the Golf R. I don't need another four-wheel drive hatchback.
VR6 noises. So
the wrong VR6
basically
noises.
We've talked
VR6s that aren't 12 valve? What?
They still sound really good. They make all the wiki noises.
But the 12
I would argue
12 valve is better.
I would argue the 3.2 24 valve sounds better than a 2.8.
You're wrong. No, that is false.
Anyways,
I don't have time to look up a clip, but
I know.
Wrong.
I was like, we could insert clips here and go back and forth.
The induction noise on the 12 valve is far better. I would say the exhaust note on the 24 valve sounds better.
That's exactly what I was arguing. Yes.
Yeah, but I'd rather induction is always better than exhaust. And this is something you've said.
Yeah, and you just said the induction and exhaust noise on the 24 valve sounds better. No,
just the exhaust, not the induction. They're the induction on the 12 valve. 12 volts? It's a 12 volt vehicle.
It is a 12 volt. Yes, that's true. Okay, anyways, that's dumb, and we don't know at all what now you're going to be buying because we talked ourselves out of all the options.
Yes, we did. All right, let's get into some news. I'm going to save this next section, and maybe you guys can throw some at us. I'll ask the question. You guys can DM us if you think we've come up with any ideas. Next week we're going to do, or in 2 weeks we're going to do, 3 weeks? Jeez. What is the most defining thing that marks when cars were no longer cool? I would think about that.
Recommend putting that up on the Discord too.
Yeah. Well, yes, we can do that.
And if there are listeners who are not in the Discord, you should get over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put a link in the show notes. Actually, what I'll do is I'll forget to put a link in the show notes. So.
Great. Okay, let's do that.
I think a message
before we get into our actual news, let's talk about Petrolbox, which is a monthly service made specifically for the automotive enthusiasts. They carefully select items including tools, detailing supplies, apparel, garage gear, stickers, publications sent right to your doorstep. It's a curated selection of the latest and greatest gear in the industry. And there's actually 2 different levels of subscription to choose from, Chris. There's the Petrolbox Basic, which costs less than $20 a month, and the Petrolbox Premium gets you even more gear for $39.95 a month. Check them out at mypetrolbox.com and be sure to use the code Overcrest at checkout to get $6 off your first order. Okay, Chris, some news. Legendary designer Bruno Sacco has died. Do you know who this is? He's the creative force behind some of Mercedes-Benz's most celebrated designs, and he recently passed away at the age of 90, leaving an indelible mark on the brand. So during his time as head of design from 1975 to 1999, Sacco sculpted models.
That's a long time to be head of design at any manufacturer. Name another guy that's lasted that long.
24 years.
Long time. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Basically, as soon as he left, Mercedes went to shit after 90.
Yeah, as much as I don't like Mercedes, the W126 S-Class, the 190E, which is iconic, and the instantly recognizable R129 SL. You wrote into instantly recognizable, and I don't know that by the model.
That's like a 96, 95 500 SL. The 2-door roadster.
Yeah. It's just like what you would think of as that's the luxury little coupe thing.
Yep.
Under his watch, Mercedes shifted from boxy elegance to modern performance luxury, providing they weren't just Oh, come on. Really? Did you write this for me?
Yes, I did.
Hate you. Proving that they weren't just grandpa cars, but machines with real swagger. Oh my God. Models like the 190E were engineered to take on BMW's best, showing the Mercedes
and succeeded.
Serve up
the
style
190E is a better car than an E30. Just saying. Better car.
Yes. Showing that Mercedes could serve up style and agility, not just reliability and leather seats for the golf course.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. This is Chris putting prompts into ChatGPT. What will make Jake upset? To read.
No, I don't need ChatGPT to tell me this.
I know. Sacco's philosophy, quote, a Mercedes must always look like a Mercedes, meant creating cars that spoke to heritage without aging into irrelevance. I do like that. He struck a balance between refinement and edginess that attracted new, younger fans while giving diehard Mercedes enthusiasts plenty to rave about. That is a very hard balance to do, and I'm trying to think of many manufacturers that have done that. Porsche,
most manufacturers
I would
try
say,
to go after like one segment. You know what I mean?
The 911 has always been good because it's never been revolutionary. It's always just an evolution of a previous design. Other than the 996, people hated the 996.
That was revolutionary.
But I would say, yeah, that was one of them. What else did I need to read here? Sleek engineering.
Mercedes evolved into a brand where sleek engineering and iconic lines met the antithesis of the grandpa car image, and one that still defines the company today. I actually have his final words on his deathbed.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Let's read them.
Bruno Sacco, quote, a Mercedes is a statement. It is not some grandpa car. I designed these machines to inspire the road, to look and feel alive. If they ever feel ordinary, I haven't done my job.
So by the fact that he's saying they're not grandpa cars, he acknowledges that is the stereotypic of a Mercedes. So proving my point, thank you very much.
It's just good that those words finally got back to, back to you.
Sure.
All right. Jake, things are looking bleak at Volkswagen. Have you kind of heard what's going on there?
I've heard this. Yeah. This is...
Yeah. Not great. Volkswagen is bracing for what could be its largest restructuring effort to date, with plans to close 3 factories in Germany and potentially cut tens of thousands of jobs. This drastic step follows months of struggling EV sales and heightened competition from Chinese manufacturers. Dude, China is like encroaching on everyone, man.
I know.
It is not, it's really not looking good.
I don't know
as Volkswagen pushes for $10 billion euros in 2026. Union leader Daniela Cavallo has strongly criticized the move, calling it starvation for workers who may also face reduced hours and pay cuts of up to 10%.
Okay, but so I was reading this and thinking to myself, Chris, because a lot of this is the article that we found is basically the unions versus Volkswagen and the clash.
Yeah, it's a war.
It's creating. But what is the alternative if you don't want layoffs or cost cutting? The company goes into insolvency, and then you don't have jobs.
Yeah, I think what they do is they want the company has to make a certain amount of profits to exist and make shareholders happy and everything else. They want money out of that, but that's typically not how it works. This stuff it normally gets carved out of what the consumer pays. Yes. So if the union pay goes up and the benefits go up, or regulations introduce more things that has to be on a car, the car gets more expensive.
Correct.
But the consumer can only bear so much.
Correct.
And with inflation and everything that's been going on over the last few years, we're already kind of at a tipping point of where consumers just cannot bear more cost.
It's chicken and the egg too, because if all these workers, these tens of thousands of workers, if they're going to get a pay raise, that means the cars that they would be buying are going up and they can't afford them anyways. So that's inflation.
That's economics 101 that nobody ever wants to talk about. They're always it's always thought of as like a fixed pie, right? All of this money, where all that exists is what's right here in the pie. And when you cut it up, you're only cutting up certain amounts for certain people, and then you get that piece of pie. But actually the pie gets bigger, it gets smaller. And if it gets smaller for everybody. If it gets bigger, it gets bigger for everybody. Typically that's how it will work. In the last few years, however, I think there has been a lot of, probably I would say, greed and in the corporate world. I just don't think you and me are not able to gauge the value of something easily anymore.
Right.
When inflation goes up at a slow trickle, it's almost unnoticeable.
Right.
Because your wages go up, prices go up, it all kind of feels the same. But when things accelerate so fast that when you go to the store and you see XYZ thing and it's $50 and you go, I don't even know what we're doing. And I think there has been some advantage taken of that. So I'm guessing that's probably what the unions are freaking out about, is that profits are good and they're trying to, introduce these austerity measures or whatever it is and cut 30,000 jobs.
Profits are good? I don't think they are. I think that's what's leading to all of this. Sales are terrible.
I don't know. I
read the article. Things are down. Things are way down. Yeah, it's not good. And that's where I came to it, is like, well, if they don't cut jobs, then the Volkswagen ceases to exist or closes down in a large part. That's going to lose jobs anyways.
The union's just doing union things.
I was also wondering, because a lot of this is shutting down the big deal here is they're shutting down factories within Germany, right? The home country.
Yes, that's
the big difference here. And I wonder if labor laws in, of course, the EU, but especially Germany, are so prohibitively expensive that maybe that's why they're doing this and moving a lot of production offshores.
They're going to have to if the unions keep pushing like this and driving up the cost. And there's all kinds, as we're going to talk about later, there's all kinds of new things that are getting added to cars that are going to make them more expensive. As VW goes, so does Germany. They have 300,000 employees in Germany alone. Yeah, and that's not even by
the supply chain.
If you think of it tangentially, right. Imagine how many people are reliant upon, like at Bosch or whatever, all the supply chains that are really.
Yep.
Volkswagen is Germany, and Germany is.
Would you say it's too big to fail, Chris?
Well, yeah, but I think at some point, if you have some sort of economic collapse, it's happened many times to Germany in the past. Nothing good ever comes of Germany having an economic problem. Yeah,
very good point.
So yeah, I think you will see a shift of production outside of Germany. Obviously, we make some Volkswagens here, or they're assembled here, or whatever. But you'll start to see more and more of that if it comes to it with the cost going up. Although, the normal outlet for this type of manufacturing there's a lot of stuff that's done in China. And China's, with all the tariffs that are going on in the European Union and America, they're not going to let you build Volkswagens or do any Volkswagen stuff in China. So I don't know. I don't know where they go. I don't know what happens here.
Yeah, it's kind of grim. Also grim, or maybe not so much. There are a bunch of cars, of course. It's this time of year where we know which cars aren't continuing on into 2025.
These models get disconnected. Disconnected. What is it? Unmade.
Discontinued? Unmade? What?
Unmade. We're gonna unmake them. The car in your driveway, you're literally gonna go out there and all the bolts will
just
be
disassembled. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So disassemble.
First on the list of discontinued models is, surprisingly to me at least, the Audi A5
What do you
platform.
mean surprisingly?
The entire A5, S5, RS5 coupe and convertible, the RS5 like weird coupe sportback thing.
You like these things?
No, I don't. You see them all over, I guess is my point. Like, I see a lot of these. I think they're selling pretty well compared to like some of the weird Nissan things that were down at the end of the list. Yeah. So they think it's probably just going to be replaced with a newer generation, right? So they stop making them for a year or two so that they could re-release it as whatever the new car is. The Bugatti Chiron, which of course was the new model of the Bugatti Veyron, which is of course being replaced by the Bugatti Tourbillon, I think.
Yeah, who knows? It's a different.
So that's the only reason that one's stopping, is because we have the new one, which is supposedly completely new. There's not a single shared part. One thing that is interesting, so the Chiron, the Veyron, they all used the Volkswagen-derived W16 quad turbo motor. It was basically, it was a W motor, two VR8s, yes. This is actually going to use a Cosworth-designed V16 now.
Good Lord.
It's going to be a hybrid, of course, because everything is as a hypercar. But so that's why the Chiron is no longer being available in 2025. I know all of you were like planning on putting your order allocation in.
I'll have to cancel my allocation. I really want the new one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just flip the allocation and double my money.
There you go. The Camaro. They're killing Camaro again. So as we know, the Camaro.
This the other day when I saw Camaro RS drive by me.
Yeah.
I feel like the Charger Challenger destroyed the Camaro. It's sort of the Mustang. I feel like the Camaro is the least exciting and least. Well, have you sat in one?
A Camaro? Yeah, I've driven one. They're terrible.
How did you feel? I mean, you're very small.
I felt like I was in a coffin.
Yeah, it's awful.
Have you driven them?
It's absolutely yeah. I drove a rental car, but the driving position is going to be the same.
It's the same. Yes.
You feel encroached.
Wait, did you? I think you gave. I gave you my rental car. Why did I have a rental car? But yeah. Anyways, yeah. No, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible.
So not surprising.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's interesting that Camaro was like the Camaro / Firebird Trans Am thing. They obviously got discontinued in like 2000, I want to say.
Yeah.
Right? The original. And then they brought back the Camaro, and now they're discontinuing it again. Whereas the Mustang has continued on. The Charger Challenger, of course, is still doing well.
It's also canceled. That's done.
Oh, you're right, because that's all electric. Never mind.
Yep,
Yay. The Ferrari 812, because apparently there's another V12 Grand Touring front engine rear drive thing that I don't know about. I realized as I was looking through Ferraris, I don't know any of their models right now. Like the F8 versus the
far removed from
something else. It's
I think they've always been that way though. The models would continually progress. You had 308, 512, all these numbers, and they would go away.
But I feel like maybe it's only because we're looking back, like those I know, and they seem like they weren't as, and maybe there weren't as many models either. Because like think of the time in the 360, right? You had the 360, and then you had like the 512 was the front engine car, and then the F50 I think was also in that as like their hypercar at the time.
Yeah,
like maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they never had that many models all at the same time.
I just don't know anything about Ferrari anymore.
I don't either. Infiniti Q50. I didn't realize this is the last Infiniti sedan in the lineup. It's all SUVs now.
Crossover all the things.
Yeah, so no more Q50. Jaguar. Did you see everything on the list that Jaguar is Xing?
It's almost.
They described like the Jaguar is in an identity crisis. Like they're just
they're trying to go after Bentley or whatever, right?
I don't know.
Basically compete. Yeah, they're trying to upscale and go after like Bentley, Rolls-Royce, that type.
Yeah, the F Type is of course the one that you see the most, which is the little convertible thing.
Yep.
They're getting rid of that. They're getting rid of the XF, which is their big sedan, which were actually pretty nice. They have that SUV thing that like I saw one of them ever, but they're getting rid of that. Same thing with Maserati. Yeah. Maserati had a weird luxury SUV too that didn't. I saw like one or two of them ever on the road.
I never see those. However, we are in Minnesota, Jake. If we live in Miami, we'd probably see
you're right. But it's still the percentage of. You'll see a lot more Cayennes than you will see the Maserati SUV thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Maserati's
I think it's
also cutting both of their four doors, the Ghibli as well as the Quattraport. And Nissan had a whole list of things that they're getting rid of, including the GTR. Which
finally, let's get rid of that thing.
Well,
let's get rid of the GTR.
They're going to have
come out with something different.
The R36
limping that thing along for all
in a
these
year
years.
or two. It has been a long time that you're using basically the same formula. I know there was like a facelift at some point in the last few years, but yeah. So I don't know. A lot of cars no longer there because I'm sorry to say, a lot of it is still going towards electrification and redeveloping the model lineups.
That's what the regulations say. They have to be years ahead, so they're working on it. All right, the EU has some new regulations, Jake.
That's exciting.
Out of control. So this is the new General Safety Regulation 2, GSR2.
General Safety Regulation 2. Okay.
Yeah, 2, GSR2. So these are things that are now required coming up in the next couple of years.
Okay.
Required.
Okay.
Not like required. Intelligent speed assistance. Uses cameras and GPS to monitor speed limits and notify drivers when they are exceeding posted limits. It emits audio-visual warnings. It can apply pressure feedback through the accelerator pedal. Can you imagine it like pushing your
literally
foot back?
pushes your foot back.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Slow down. That's like someone cutting in front of me at the grocery store in line and being like, excuse me, you're going through this line too fast.
Do you think
what?
Is this something that you can turn off as a feature? Like I know it's required.
It resets at each startup, ensuring consistent compliance. Okay. Compliance.
So you can turn it off, but yeah. So it's like stability control where you can still turn it off.
California just said no to the sound and the audiovisual warnings. I think that got vetoed. They were
interesting.
Autonomous emergency brake. Dude, I cannot believe pressure feedback through the accelerator pedal.
That's pretty funny. That's
Is it going to vibrate or is it physically going to push my foot back?
I think it's going to push your foot back. But I wonder, like, can you overpower it? Or is it just they'll apply all of the hydraulic pressure?
It doesn't matter. It's not a cable. You could break it off. It's not going to do anything. It's just drive-by
wire.
Digits,
yeah, exactly.
Drive-by, yeah. Autonomous emergency braking.
Yeah.
This one I'm okay with.
Yeah,
using sensors such as cameras, radars, and even LiDAR, it detects obstacles and makes you not run into stuff. Which they're hoping to reduce collisions by 50%, pedestrian accidents by 30%, automatically engaging brakes. Good. I'm fine.
This has been on a lot of vehicles already for a long time. The problem is
this is a good one.
I don't know if it's on my Macan or not, and I've always wanted to test it, but if it's not, then you just crash. Because usually it applies the brakes at the last possible section. 2015.
Might not be.
Might not be, but it might.
Might not be.
But it might. So let's try.
Driver drowsiness and attention.
Oh my God. Yeah, we've talked
This
about
monitoring
this one
system
in the
tracks
past.
the driver eye movement and behavior. It's especially valuable for long-distance drivers and is expected to reduce accidents related to fatigue and distraction. So they're going to have something that looks like it's going to monitor you and know who you are.
Well, I was going to say, this means you have a camera pointing at you at all times, and it's being stored because everything's uploaded to the cloud.
It's getting stored in the event data recorder, which is now required. Similar to a black box in airplanes, the EDR records crucial data moments before and after a crash. The data assists investigators in understanding crash circumstances and could improve safety designs based on real-world data.
They will know if you were distracted or looking at your phone or fell asleep when you got in a crash.
They'll know everything, Jake. They'll know everything.
Do you know how easy that makes insurance investigations?
Oh, yeah. It's really great. Aimed at protecting pedestrians and cyclists, reverse detection and camera sensors. Sure, fine. Add the super.
That's always reverse detection. Like cameras, reverse cameras were always required, even in the U.S. since 2018.
You remember the brake lights that flash when you hit the brakes?
Yes.
Now required. This feature flashes the car's hazard lights automatically during. Oh, the hazard lights now too. During abrupt braking to alert surrounding drivers, reducing the likelihood of rear-end collisions and sudden stops.
Here's the thing, so it's called the the emergency stop or the panic stop lights, where if you, regardless of pressure, it's how quickly you apply the brake. It's a measurement of like acceleration of the brake pedal. It'll flash the taillights. Which, here's the thing, I feel like there's no education on that. I feel like no one knows what that actually means. If you asked any Joe Blow, like, oh, have you seen brake lights flash? Yeah. What does that mean? I don't know. I've had people ask me, like, what is that?
Here, I'm going to show you a picture of one of these cars. I've got a picture of it right here. Let me see here.
One of what cars?
There it is. There you go.
It's the Bubble Boy. Yep.
It's the Bubble Boy. That's basically what we're doing here.
Yeah, everything has to be wrapped in.
Just imagine the Karen that's in charge of coming up with these things. Advanced driver distraction. We're not done.
I realize that.
Advanced driver distraction warning includes systems to detect more specific driver distractions, like using a mobile device. At what point do you just automatically get a ticket if you pick up your phone in the car?
Ooh. Yeah, I could see that happening.
Kind of like the seashells, where if you swear or say "fuck" in Demolition Man.
That's right. Why was it? The seashell was the toilet paper. There's no toilet paper. It's just seashells.
Toilet situation.
That's right.
Nobody ever found out.
Yeah. No, but it would give you, just print off a ticket every time you swear.
They're also including something about they're hoping to reduce deaths by a lot and some 140,000 injuries by 2038. Fine. Just imagine all the things we should not do because it might injure or kill us. It's you might as well just be Bubble Boy. This also included something about supporting OTA updates for cybersecurity for the life cycle of the vehicle. So now they have to, because of all these things.
Right. There's a lot of personal data.
They're requiring that it not be hackable, and you have to provide updates for the life cycle of the vehicle. I was trying to find the European Union's definition of life cycle of the vehicle.
Oh,
I could not find anything. This way, only the insurance companies, the government, and the manufacturer who sells the data to someone else and third parties can violate your privacy. We wouldn't want anybody else doing it.
Exactly.
Just the government, the manufacturer, and the insurance companies. You cannot have competition with them. So,
and you realize as soon as we talked about this before, like, you don't opt into any of this. You're opting in by operating the vehicle. And remember also, if you get a passenger that comes in, they're also opted in by default. Or remember, it was the driver's obligation to tell the passenger all of the privacy concerns.
That's right. You got to tell them. It's like Europe's in a never-ending love affair with bootlicking. I don't understand why they want to be embraced in rules. Dude, the history of Europe, they love having a boot on their head. Car tech, regulate it. Internet, regulate it. Regulate everything.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right.
I did a little bit of research trying to figure out how much this would all cost.
Oh my god!
So it's like 1,000 to 2,000 euros for the thing we talked about earlier.
Okay.
With the if we let's just raise the price of the cars instead and pay the unions. That's like $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah.
This is all $3,000 to $4,000 per vehicle. That's stacked
for
on
all
top.
of these regulations that are mandatory now.
Yep, $3,000 to $6,000.
All these features.
Total potential per vehicle, which is, I don't know, the average cost of a car now is like 35 grand. So what is that, 8%?
Oh, it's more than that, Chris. Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's crazy.
Yep, there we go. That's great. So have you heard of the Ferrari F80?
I've heard of it.
Okay,
it's like their
Ferrari
new
F80. This is just a giant vehicle for which I can play sounds.
Okay,
but
cool.
The Ferrari F80 is built to push boundaries, taking the reins from the legendary LaFerrari as Ferrari's latest hypercar.
Right.
I feel like it's like F40, F50, F80.
Yeah.
Why isn't it the F60?
The F60 was the Enzo, Chris. That was literally the internal model code of the Enzo was the F60. Yes.
Well, then they should have just called it that. And this could be the F. What's the F70 then? Is the LaFerrari the F70?
Yes, I believe. I don't know if they used that internal model code, but that would make sense. Remember how we talked about we don't know anything about Ferraris? Yeah, this is why.
I'm sorry, there's Ferrari fans here going, what is happening? Instead of the LaFerrari's V12, the F80 packs a hybrid twin turbocharged V6.
Yes.
The 3-liter powerhouse turns out, this is pretty impressive. 3-liter V6 twin turbo, 887 horsepower at 8,700 RPM.
That's awesome. Do you know why also this actually makes sense? Now, of course, I would rather have a V12 than a V6, right? But this makes sense, and I like this because it's realigning a street car with the Formula One formula, right? That's the architecture that they're using in Formula One. So a lot of people are saying, actually, we like this because Ferraris used to be they would align their road cars to whatever they're using and developing in Formula One, and this does that again.
V12.
No,
I don't even know what engines they use in Formula One. Is it a V6?
It's a hybrid V6 turbocharged. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I didn't know if it was like some shitty, I just know that I'm not interested anymore because they all sound stupid. Well, F80 also comes in, sorry. If you want to add the electric motors, it's got 1,200 horsepower.
Okay. Yeah. So that was, so the 887 was actually just the V6, the turbo V6. That's impressive.
That's what really I'm talking about. That is impressive.
Wow. I thought that was the full hybrid.
0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds.
Wow.
Which that just seems like it's going to make you throw up. Hits 124 in under 6 seconds, maxing out. So my car is probably 0 to 60 in maybe 6 seconds or a little under. This thing is doubling the speed of my 911, maxing out at 217 miles an hour.
Wow.
It's all-wheel drive, which is dumb for a hypercar.
No, I guess it's the electric motors. Like they're all like that.
I don't care what it is.
Okay,
it doesn't matter. There's no full EV mode.
You realize how old and out of touch we seem now, talking about how all these electronic nannies are terrible and hypercars should only be rear wheel drive. That's so not even last decade, 2 decades ago. You know what I mean? I feel like we have to kind of adjust our perception of this. No. Okay.
You can. I'm not going to.
Okay.
You can be a pragmatist. I will not. You can. That would be you. And you can
an
just
optimist.
Be wrong. That's fine.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. You can.
Anyways, continue on. I just want to hear this.
The F80 keeps the purest edge by avoiding zero emission driving, even with its tiny 2.28 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is completely meaningless to a Luddite like me. They're building 800. This is where it kind of gets interesting.
So basically,
they're building 800 of these things.
It is interesting though that it has the technology to be able to do EV only, but they're not. That's not part of it. That's cool.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah.
Okay, so they're
Ferrari's only building 799 units of this thing.
Do you know why they do that? Most Ferraris, their limited edition ones, are like 99 or something because they will do market research for how many people want one and produce one less. That's always been Ferrari's model. They built in exclusivity.
Yeah, well, that's going to explain what happens next year.
Okay.
They're making $799. That's more than 500 of the LaFerraris. As expected, the resale market is already on fire. One build slot is up for grabs for $6.3 million. $2 million above the original price.
It works.
For a car not even built yet.
Yep.
I don't know. This doesn't really seem like the F40 to me. I don't like the evolution of when the F40 came out. Gordon Murray said it was a big go-kart with a plastic body on it,
which is great.
No one is going to say anything like that about the F80. It's too refined. It's too nice. There's too much technology.
Do you know that? Do you know that for a fact?
Well, just look at it. No, I've never driven. I will never drive an F80.
My whole point
is just conjecture.
Again, you always say you have to look at the car in the period.
In an F40.
Yes. Okay, but you have to look at the car in the period for which it came from.
Okay, fine. The 959 is a perfect example of cars with too much technology from that period.
You're right. 100%.
And it didn't hold up well. I don't care how many Porsche purists are going to tell me how great a 959 is. That car sucks.
Compared to...
It's really... compared to an F40.
Correct.
It doesn't hold up because it has so much technology that's not useful anymore. Right. Nobody cares about all the groundbreaking technology that a 959 had. Ooh, great. It doesn't matter compared to the F40. The F40 stands on its own two legs.
Sure.
Not in hindsight. Well, isn't that what really matters?
Well, I'm just saying you can't compare this thing to an F40, which came out, what?
Why not?
40 years ago now?
Sure you can. Why not?
Okay. I bet this is...
Why not? Why can't you compare it? It's a legacy of that car.
Here's why. Because in 40 years from now, you'll look back at this. Well, you won't. Someone will look back at this and be like, that was very minimalist.
Am I dead? I'm only going to be 70, dude. 70, 80 years old.
But you won't know what's going on. You'll be more out of touch than you are now. Let's just say that. No, but my point is, and to counter your argument here, is I think that this will be perceived as actually still being minimalist for the time period it's in. We just got done talking about all of these required features and regulations for vehicles, and this thing now is going to be not even EV. You're going to look back at that and be like, yeah, that was pretty raw, just like the F40 was. That's my argument.
I don't think so. I think there's way too much going on in those things.
Well, I agree, but we're comparing it to like a 1970 911, like what we're used to.
Well, I'm comparing it to the F40 is what I'm comparing it to.
Okay.
What are we doing here?
Okay.
That is the metric. That is the comparison. That is the benchmark.
For everything.
You know what sucks for Ferrari is the F40 is one of the best cars ever made. So everything they do is going to be compared to like that, which is seriously what a task, right? What a task. The F80's exhaust system complies with the latest Euro 6e BIS standards. Current EU vehicle noise regulations require most new passenger cars to meet a strict limit of 68 decibels by 2026. All right. So I'm going to give you some other things that come in at about 68 decibels.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Normal conversation. A casual chat at a reasonable distance averages around 60 to 70 decibels.
Wow.
So imagine a Ferrari blending right in with office small talk.
That's really,
the electric
really quiet.
toothbrush.
No.
Also 68 decibels. Yeah.
Really?
Dishwashers. 63 to 66. A vacuum cleaner, 65 to 70, meaning an F80 accelerating down a straightaway could be. I'm thinking it's louder at not on a straightaway. I think this is just idle noise.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is just driving by noise. I don't know how these regulations work. A lawnmower from 100 feet away.
Okay.
The fairly distant hum of yard work is right around 68 decibels.
Wow.
Yeah. It's thanks again, bootlicking Europeans for ruining the F80.
Well, hey, maybe. Well, eventually, of course, they'll make aftermarket exhaust for this. Hey, I thought you were going to show us what it sounded like.
Oh yeah, let me give you the sound here. Okay, so this is the F80.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
It sounds better than Formula One cars. It's just quiet. I think it sounds
Very
okay.
quiet. Mostly what I heard was tire noise and wind noise.
Yeah, you could hear it shifting.
Right, here's an F40. Yeah. Okay. To be fair, that's a F40 LM.
Yes, I was going to say that did not have exhaust.
But dude, like, no exhaust on that thing.
Yes.
There was some F40 clips which sound a lot better, but I just love that clip so much. I had to share. That is what a Ferrari. That's what it should sound like. But we can't because of the bootlickers.
Yes. Do you think FCP Euro sells an exhaust for that car?
I wonder if they have any F40 parts. I'm going to look it up right now.
I highly doubt that. But FCP Euro is
looking.
an online retailer of OE, OEM, genuine aftermarket, and performance parts for European cars. Probably not Ferrari, but we'll see. BMW, Porsche, Volvo, and more. Their catalog is a one-stop shop with over 275,000 unique products, including expert-assembled kits to make shopping simpler. Actively building out the Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche catalogs from current to our favorite classics.
Jake, is that like 91? It's got to be like 91.
I think it's right around 90. Yeah.
90, I'll say. Oh, they don't even list Ferrari.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it does. No, it doesn't. It just says you're too poor.
I like that. Yes. FCP Euro are working to have every part you need for all of your cars, except for Ferrari, I guess, but that's okay. Every product does come with a lifetime replacement guarantee, though, even wear items like wiper blades, brake pads, and oil filters. With the opening of their distribution center in Mesa, Arizona, FCP Euro is now shipping parts from both coasts, serving most of the country in 3 days or less with free shipping. We at Overcrest have been working with FCP Euro for years and can vouch for them. Real people who are passionate about what they do and the cars we love, while making sure to put you, the customer, first. Check them out today, fcpeuro.com, and take advantage of free shipping on any order over $49.
All right. I'm going to show you the most Minnesota thing ever.
Oh, boy.
It's a little video clip here.
Okay.
18-year-old Sam Dutcher had just finished running some errands in North Dakota when the Honda Pilot he was driving began to accelerate to over 100 miles per hour, even though he did not have his foot on the gas pedal. The teenager tried pushing the brake and shifting the car into neutral, but neither worked. Sam called his mom, who was able to quickly relay what was happening to 911.
Right here.
Well, this is going to sound absolutely crazy, but so we've been having problems with my car. We took it to the shop because we had an incident where the accelerator stuck and it wouldn't stop. Well, my son is driving the car currently because I'm in the loaner car, and he is going down County 17.
Get to the point, lady!
Slow down or stop, and he's going about 80 miles an hour.
After crossing state lines, a Minnesota state trooper managed to get in front of the speeding vehicle, and Sam was told to crash into the rear of the squad car. Both vehicles eventually stopped safely, and no one was injured in the incident. A Honda spokeswoman said a full evaluation would be needed to determine what went wrong.
Probably the WeatherTech floor mats that are under the gas pedal.
Hey,
almost killed that poor child.
Don't poo-poo WeatherTech. They're a previous partner of ours.
You know. It's somebody's floor mat anyway. It's somebody's.
I do love that.
So Jimmy,
so let me tell you what's going on. I'm gonna give you all the backstory here. And and we made some delicious casserole as well, you know. So anyways, we're going out and about, and then the gas pedal, it just wouldn't work very well. So I'm in our loaner car, and that's my son, and he's driving it. Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. I love that. But also,
it's not, hey, my son is the car's out of control. That's all you say is the car's out of control. He can't stop it. Yes. Please help my son.
Yes. Also, why didn't the son? Yeah. I mean, I suppose he was how old? He was young. I was like, why didn't he just call 911 instead of calling his mom?
Immediately called for mommy.
Called his mom.
Immediately.
Also, that seemed like a very aggressive crash. The fact that you could hear it through the dash recording. Like, don't you think you could just same speed and slowly slow down? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm gonna ask you what you like on your pizza here. But first, if you're looking for the best app for navigating your next adventure, look no further than Onyx Off-Road. With over 750,000 miles of trails and comprehensive offline maps, you can explore without worrying about cell service. The app features trail ratings, detailed information, and a Discover tool to help you find trails near you. Onyx Off-Road also offers public and private land boundaries, so you'll know where you are and whose legal property it is at any time. Plan trips with ease using our route builder and share adventures with your friends. With features like route tracking, waypoint marking, and real-time updates, you're equipped for any challenge. Start your next adventure with confidence. Try Onyx Off-Road for 7 days for free. Download it today. Okay, Chris, pizza toppings.
Yes.
What
There's only 2 pizza toppings. Well, maybe
there's only two pizza toppings, of course.
There's only 2 for me. But I will give
Heinz ketchup.
Very funny. There's pepperoni, sausage, onions, black olives, mushrooms, and green peppers.
I'm impressed.
Those are the only things that go on pizza.
Wait, did you say green or black olives?
Black olives.
Okay. I'm impressed green with olives, that at least. I like green olives.
It's not for me. Like I'll eat those pizzas. Mushrooms I don't really like, but everything else, I'll eat it. Green peppers are a problem because they're a problem. If you put green peppers in something, it's just you're just eating a green pepper.
That's not true.
They pollute. It's absolutely true.
Okay. Did you say onions?
Absolutely true.
Onions
Everything
are
tastes
delicious.
like a green pepper if you put onions are great.
Okay.
On pizza they don't really taste like much. They just kind of add a little bit of flavor. They're pretty good. But really I'm a sausage pepperoni kind of guy.
I'm sure you are.
Anything more than that is just it's just you're just masturbating. It's just too much.
What?
Well, philosophically. Anyway. Yeah, you're just.
I'm not letting that slide. What? Like, why? No. Okay. Anyways, in Dusseldorf, a pizzeria served up an extra kick that went well beyond garlic and cheese. Here you go, Chris. This is the topping you're going to try next. Yeah. German police recently uncovered a major drug ring using the restaurant's pizza number 40 as a code for cocaine. Customers who knew about the special could request this, quote, topping discreetly, making the dish a surprising hit. Yeah, okay.
Did they put it on the pizza?
I don't know. After months of investigation, authorities seized around 1.6.
Was this like a little salt shaker that they
I don't know. They seized a bunch of cocaine along with cash and weapons because, of course, if you have coke, you need to have weapons. That just, I feel like, goes hand in hand.
I would think the better way to do this would have just been serve Pepsi, have Pepsi products, and just be like, I'll have a pepperoni pizza and some Coke. And they go, oh, sorry, we don't have Coke. Oh, but then maybe you would accidentally get all over your pizza.
Then, we're not
like little Jimmy goes in there with his dad, asks for Coke, and then he gets like 3 grams of cocaine on his pepperoni pizza and starts shooting off the walls.
I think we're missing the point. I don't think it's actually a pizza topping. I think it was just like in order to order your Coke, you just order 4 pizza number 40
on the pizza though.
Yes, okay.
That makes the story so much better.
The sauce, the pizza sauce thickens, or the plot thickened when officers visited the pizzeria owner's apartment, only for him to try to throw a bag of cocaine out of the window right into the waiting hands of the police below. So that's pretty funny. You're trying to dispose of your illegal substances, and there it goes. Despite being briefly released after
I'm imagining that they have a sheet with like a little red target on it that catches the cocaine.
No, I think they were like, they weren't even expecting it. They were just like, these guys are down below, and all of a sudden they look up and he's like, boop. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for the evidence.
More fun if the baby catching sheet is there for the cocaine.
Yes, that's exactly what they were doing. Despite being briefly released after his initial arrest, the manager returned to business and even attempted to restart sales, leading to his rearrest, along with other suspects. While pizza number 40 won't be back on the menu, this bust highlights the growth of creativity in illicit trade, even as it adds a whole new meaning to ordering extra sauce.
I think they should put pizza number 40 on the menu.
I think it's going to always be on the menu, and even if it doesn't come with
it'll have like
extras,
Alfredo or something.
Yeah.
Alfredo pizza or something.
Just white sauce. Just white. I like that. Just pure white. It's just extra grated Parmesan all over it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I want to take a second to thank the Drivers Club. Jake, tell me about Drivers Club. What do you
Yes, the Overcrest Drivers Club is an exclusive club, Chris.
It's very exclusive. You got Discord areas that nobody else can get into. I spend more time there than I do on the other parts of the Discord. There's exclusive content, which, hey, maybe we should start doing that again. There's been a stack of it, but we'll start doing some new stuff. It's
so for as little as $5 a month, you can support the creators that you love, namely us, if that's the case. You get access to all of that. You get early releases of content, Chris, as well.
Yes.
Episodes go live.
As soon as I'm done editing it, it's up.
That's right. We also have previously done extended versions of episodes for Drivers Club's members.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Yes, see, there's all sorts of fun things. Check it out at overcrestproductions.com/driversclub.
I want to thank our new members in October: Paul Akonas, Michael Chastain, Mark Moroka, Chris Say, Patrick Grimali, Riley Fritsch, Ted King, Chris Pia, and John McCain. Thanks, all of you, for joining the Drivers Club. Next week, I have an interview. I'm not sure. I got an idea of who I'm going to reach out to, but I have not done it yet. I'm hoping it works out.
I'm excited for that.
I'm glad you're back, Jake.
I'm back. We're going to be back with history stories after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's a history story, and then it's me again, and then it's a news episode, and then it's me again, and then it's a history episode. This is going to be a good time. I'm really excited. I know people have been pining for it. Glad you're back. Yep. Thanks for being here. And we will see everyone else next week.
In the meantime, stay tuned for the release of the Overcrest Snowmobile Rally this winter.
Take care, guys.